Hey, everybody. I am super excited here because I've got a power couple that I'm about to interview, and you won't want to miss this. My name is Matt Milia, and you are here live for Business Insights. I'm going to cue that intro, and we'll get started here right away. Welcome to Business Insights with Matt Milia. I'm your host, Matt Milia, and in this podcast, we'll talk about the real, raw, uncut business success secrets you won't find anywhere else. Follow my journey from entry level to CEO. We discuss real actionable items you can plug into your business right away. To subscribe to our weekly top tips, you can go to www.mattpodcast.com and join our community of elite high-level performers. And if you're interested in our inside sales company, you can go to www.appointmentstoday.com to jump on a free strategy call. And now, stay tuned for our podcast. All right. Hey, guys. So I am here with Brad and Brandi Lane. And first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for jumping on. And you guys both are with CrossCountry, and I would love to CrossCountry Mortgage. I'd love to hear a little bit about kind of your journey, how you guys met, and I mean, I believe you both met working together. So Brad or Brandi, I'll let you guys take that away.
Yeah, we met we both started the exact same day for a mortgage company back in fall of 2010, I believe. Yeah. So I was sitting in the conference room. She walked into the conference room. I leaned over to my buddy who started that same day with me and instantly, was attracted to Brandi. But that's where it all started. But no, it grew because of working together, starting at the same time, training together, working together. I was a loan officer. She was a processor for me. So for those of you that know the business part of it, we worked together to get files closed. And so, we quickly gravitated towards each other, but I don't know if you want to say a few words.
I basically came in that day thinking I was going to be a totally different position. And then I was told I was going to be a loan processor. So I just went in there and started processing loans. Like, didn't really know what I was doing, but Brad and I were able to talk every single day, literally every single day. He grew to be my best friend before we were even together. And together we learned how to really slang some loans.
Yeah, I should state that I had no clue what a mortgage was when I started. It was during the refinance boom, and I didn't know that there was different types of mortgages, even let alone what was going on. So we truly did learn together and grow together, and that's I think what initially that attraction was just being able to bounce ideas off of each other and learn.
I love that. My first day in mortgage, so you guys met the love of your life the first day in mortgage, which is pretty awesome. My first day in mortgage, I was a Portly fellow, and I worked for Quicken Loans. And at the time, it was like 10:30 in the morning, 10:45. And I was super pumped because I had a Stouffer's chicken pot pie, and I put it in like the microwave, and everyone's like, "Oh man, your new nickname is Pot Pie," and I'm like, "Great." So I'm pot pie my first day. Y'all met the love of your life. That's pretty crazy.
Both good options, right?
Right. The pot pie was pretty good, but not the same. But that's awesome.
For lunch now. It sounds good in this weather we have in Ohio today.
Oh man. Well, that's so cool that you guys basically started the exact same time. Brandi, were you thinking you were going in for a loan officer role or?
No, I actually, so I was friends with my boss's cousin, and she asked if I, did mortgages I was actually, sorry, that's a hazard to the job. My emails are going to go crazy. Right. But she had asked if I was interested in becoming an office manager for her cousin. And so I thought I was coming in as the office manager, to be honest with you.
Right.
Destin had different ideas, though. Or Destiny, I should say, not Destin. I don't know why I said that, but Destiny had different ideas.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, so tell me, I mean, for everybody that's watching, and I think this is really important because I'm going to give my take on it, but I want you guys to give your take on it first. What would you say is kind of the secret to a successful relationship and work balance? So meaning, I mean, of course, you guys are working together. You're trying to accomplish the same goals. What would you say was kind of the secret, or what makes it work?
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, well, I mean, obviously we started off more as friends and coworkers. So we worked together for quite a few years and knew each other's tendencies from a work side. And as we grew and our relationship developed, it actually was, it was a challenge. It was hard for a few years. We dated and, we're engaged, and she was processing for me. It's funny because, I like to consider myself the team lead. So I like to give the direction when it comes to how the team functions. And it's very interesting when you're doing that with your future wife, because, sometimes her ideas aren't the same as my ideas, and that's okay. But we're very both stubborn and like-minded for the most part, but very stubborn. So we had some different, I don't want to say obstacles, but hurdles that we had to get through for sure in order to better understand each other. And I think honestly, where we better understood is Brandi now helps. She processes for a team, Jessica Armbruster's team with CrossCountry. So she doesn't necessarily process directly with my team. But I think that's actually strengthened our relationship, not only personally, but professionally. It's given us some sort of, break during the workday. We're not having to constantly communicate. But at the same time, like I said, we understand each other's backgrounds from the business side of things. And Brandi, whether she knows it or not, plays a very integral role in my team, even though she's not technically, the processor for my team. And the reason for that is her wealth of knowledge from the operational side and from the processing side. A lot of my team, actually all of my team, feels very comfortable reaching out to her directly, or some of them will call her their baby Yoda, where they'll pick her brain on things, and they'll call me knowing I'm in the car with her. But it's not to actually talk to me; it's to talk to Brandi.
Yes,
so
they get very excited when they know that I'm in the car.
It's kind of funny, but
That's awesome.
It's made it so that there's very less tension. We can come home in the evening and I can say hi and get a hi back. But it also sometimes I don't think I show her the gratitude of how much of an integral role she is still with my team, even though she's technically not part of it. And I think that being able to understand each other from a point that we knew we couldn't work together any longer once we were married, and if we wanted things to be the best on both sides, business and personal, we had to have a little bit form of separation in there. That's just us. Some couples obviously
makes total sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a sounding board in the house. You can get frustrated really fast, and just to take a deep breath and tell him the situation, what's going on, how I'm feeling, the loan scenarios, we're able to bounce that off of each other and give each other ideas. And it's more of a, I understand, I know where you're coming from. It's actually really great when it comes to the business side of it, because it's like one of us is calm, one of us isn't, the other one's calm, the other one isn't. Yeah. So you really balance each other out when it comes to that part.
And this industry is hard for significant others. I mean, it's a very, hectic industry, just real estate industry in general. And so having somebody that understands that is important. She appreciates when I'm answering the phone at 9 p.m. It's not a big deal to her, and it's not a big deal to me either. I'm just using that as an example of it's nice to be able to have a significant other that understands.
That's so true. I appreciate you guys going into depth and some detail on that, because that in itself for Stephanie and I, so shameless plug, we have appointments today. That's our business. We have an inside sales and lead generation company, and my wife does all of our content. But it wasn't always like that. When I first got started, we opened up our doors in 2015. And when we first got started, there was no such thing as content. Not that it didn't exist. We just weren't doing it. We weren't putting out podcasts. We weren't interviewing individuals like yourself. We were just doing we were just doing the day-to-day grind, calling leads, setting appointments, all of that. And one of the things that was a huge eye-opener for me, everyone kept saying, all these people, oh, you got to have content, you got to have somebody help bring that to the forefront. Well, I was busy running the day-to-day. I didn't have time to do all of that. And my wife was in the healthcare field at the time. She absolutely hated it. So I brought her in beginning of, I want to say it was 2018. She came in, and our relationship got a lot better when she came in, because she saw I was working late nights. Like, this guy's always working. What is he doing? Why are you constantly not at home? And, of course, your mind goes to these terrible places. And it's like, well, no, I'm at the office. And I mean, when we start working alongside of each other, it's like, oh, you really are doing all this work. Oh, it really is this demanding. And I think having a partner, having someone that knows the waters that you're navigating, it makes a huge difference. And I want to unpack something that you guys said earlier that I feel like is important. You had said that you aren't directly working together at this point in time, meaning that there's still indirect interaction, but it's not, you're not working on the same projects. Is it difficult, would you say, if you guys were still in that old dynamic? Would it be a little bit more challenging, you think, or what are your thoughts?
It is. It's challenging because I want to be the boss and he wants to be the boss. And two bosses isn't good. So so we decided to be bosses on different teams. So
I love it.
I honestly, and she's going to laugh at this answer. I think that I'm not saying that we will, but if we ever did, become back on the same team, I think separating ourselves for the years that we have, I think it's probably been 4 years now or so.
Yeah.
It's probably helped us learn a lot, and I think that we would know, I think, how to navigate it a little bit better as a couple. Like we were originally navigating it as friends and coworkers, not as a couple. So I think that we would do better at it. But I think for our personalities, it would definitely still be hard. But yeah, it's that kind of like what you were saying. Instead of hating each other's lifestyles or not understanding them, we both have an appreciation for what we each do, now more so than ever. So,
I think we've also learned how to stay in your own lane. That's something we've learned over the years. Is he's sales, I'm operations, and as long as everybody's staying in their own lane, then it's a cohesive marriage in all aspects of it.
And I've learned that sometimes my opinion is not needed. So.
Hey, that's the fast lane to success right there. So it's a nice little tagline right there.
Yeah, I love it.
So I would say it's probably the same thing too for both Stephanie and I. One of the things that, like, even though, and it's so funny because everyone's like, oh, you own the company, but she's working alongside of you. How does there no chaos? Well, I don't own her department. It's her lane.
Yeah.
I completely stay out of that. Most of the time, it's usually her coming to me being like, hey, do some podcasts, shoot some videos. What are you doing with yourself? Like, literally, that's usually what it is. I'm like, okay, I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll do it. So, and I love doing it, but you get to a point where you get so in the grind in the day to day, and it's nice, just like you guys were saying, having that sounding board, having somebody else there being like, hey, you got to get on this. You got to do this. And it's almost like having an accountability partner, having your own built-in accountability partner, which is great. So, and that's our fast lane to success. Man, I love your last name. I can throw so many different things into it. I never even realized how great that is. But
I was telling you, it's catchier than I realized.
I know.
Credit for it. Somebody else in our operations, her name's Sarah Ulysses. She actually came up with that a few years back.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, so for everyone that's watching, of course, we talked a little bit about just navigating as a couple, as a relationship in the business place. What are, and of course, I know some people are like, oh, this is corny, but I want this part of it. This is the most important. What are the keys to success, would you guys say? And I know I didn't, again, we're just talking off the cuff. I didn't even tell you I was going to ask you something like this, but I believe it's so vital. And most of us know, I mean, what do you think are some of the keys to success to working together and having a relationship together and making it all work?
Sure.
Communication.
Huge.
Talking.
Yep. Shared schedule on the iPhone,
yes,
so you know where everybody's going to be, and you know what time we could probably do dinner together. Honestly, I think that not to interrupt you, I kind of just did, but one of the keys I feel like with the communication is truly like just understanding that your day to day in this industry is never the same. So one of the keys for us is sometimes hard because, you know, we're very organized people, but there's things that come up on a daily basis in this industry that you have to jump on. And I may be at a meeting that I planned on, you know, going an hour and it goes 2 hours, and not for bad reasons, but it goes 2 hours. And, you know, the significant other in a relationship in this industry has to be okay with that, or, you know, understanding and adaptable. And I think our adaptability and knowing that there's going to be some times where we don't have dinner till 9-10 o'clock at night.
Yes, time commitments and making sure, because there is a lot of inconsistencies in the industry. Brandi, anything that you wanted to add as far as that goes?
Yeah. So this is going to sound funny, but this actually works, is talking about what we're having for dinner in the mornings, because then he always used to get so annoyed at me. He's like, I'm not ready to talk about dinner. I haven't even went to work yet. I haven't even had breakfast yet. But it's strategic for me because then he is thinking about dinner. You know, he knows he has to get home, or he has to, you know, try to get home at a decent time because we're having meatloaf that night, you know. So I'm very big on, what do you want to do for dinner?
Is that what we're having tonight?
Yeah. So it's always been strategic for me to get him to think about that. So he's home and we at least get a couple minutes. You know, some nights we can get a couple of minutes in and talk about our day.
I love that. So what it sounds like is you guys are blocking out the non-negotiables, where it's times that you have in your calendar that, and when I say non-negotiables, I mean, I know, of course, yes, the business is the business. There's always going to be something, but you're putting that time in your calendar so that you know that that's that sacred time. That's actually something that Stephanie and I both do, where for us, like, one of the things, like, I'm an early riser, so usually I'm up. I mean, and when I say early riser, I mean, some people will laugh. I mean, I get up, I get about 8 hours of sleep, so I usually get up between 6:30 and 7. It's not really early. I mean, some people are getting up at 5 a.m. I don't do that.
That's early for us too. Don't worry.
Okay. So yeah, I'm usually getting up around like 6:30, 7 every day consistently. It's, you know, that's the norm. She usually will be like, she's kind of a night owl, so sometimes she'll, like, we try to go to bed around the same time, but usually there'll be like a 20 or 30 minute lapse and she'll be finishing up or doing something. So for me, it's important that I'm able to get all my stuff done, but we try to make the gym a sacred time where we block out, you know, usually between 11 and 1 we'll go to the gym, depending on what is going on. We'll usually go to the gym between 11 and 1. We do that 3 days out of the week. And then, of course, we have lunch and stuff at that time, too. So I feel like I love that you guys have the dinner routine. I think that makes a huge difference. So the last thing that I wanted to ask you guys, as far as cross country goes, what are some things that maybe tell me a little bit about what cross country is working on, and what kind of differentiates cross country from some of the other lenders?
So my team, I appreciate you asking that. So my team in our division, everybody that is underneath of the Shackelford group, which is Chuck Shackelford, everybody that's underneath of there is primarily purchase based. And what I mean by that is we will do refinances, but purchase loans and working with referral partners, whether it be real estate agents, attorneys, you know, financial advisors. That's our primary objective. We have I think it's like 94 or 96% purchase based when it comes to our closed volume. So we have a lot of dedicated purchase programs. One of the things that's setting us apart, I would say mostly now more than ever, with the way this market is, there's a couple of programs that we have that are, I wouldn't necessarily say they're unique, but they aren't as popular as what they once were before. And we have the availability to touch them, and that's called. We have what's called a kind of like it's a signature loan. We call it a CCM signature loan. And what it does is it allows the borrower to not be contingent upon the sale of their current home to purchase the next home. This particular program is if somebody's debt to income ratio wouldn't qualify by carrying 2 mortgages, they would sign a note, at close. There's multiple guidelines behind it that we'd have to go through, but basically the gist of it is they would sign a promissory note at closing that they would be listing their current home within, it's either 60 or 90 days of closing on the new home. But by doing that, we do not have to count that housing payment in their debt ratio, which therefore allows them to purchase a new home in a higher price point than what they were going to be able to before. We also have a bridge loan option now that's a little bit newer to us. And the bridge loan is also for you to not be contingent upon the sale of your home, but it's for a different reason. So not debt to income ratio purposes, but because you need to sell your current home for funds to use towards purchasing the new home. We could actually access those funds via a bridge loan, and you can then utilize those funds to put for the down payment and closing costs on the new home. So 2 very unique products. And then of course we're extremely, extremely good in our standard purchase products, whether it be Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, which are your conventional mortgages, FHA, VA, USDA, your standard loan types. I mean, we're doing most of these loans in 18 to 21 days. I mean, our average turn time is ridiculous. Wow. So one of the keys behind CrossCountry that makes us, especially our division, that makes us extremely, extremely good at what we do is because of individuals like Brandi on our operations side. So our operational department, it's like no other. They look at these things from, yes, an operational side, but a sales-minded view as well. And they work hand in hand and understand like our goal and our job is to get these loans cleared as efficiently as possible, right? Not necessarily, it's not always as fast as possible, it's as efficiently as possible because there's certain things that are out of our control. And our operations team is by far the best that I've ever seen. And anybody that comes aboard from other companies states the same exact thing. So, we have the programs and the operational support that in turn make us on sales look really good. So, it's a combination of multiple things.
He's clearly the sales guy talking over here. But if I could add anything, it would be underwriters. I mean, our underwriters are basically the gatekeepers for a loan. And they're kind of the end all be all, when it comes to that final stamp of approval. So we have direct contact with our underwriters. We get on Zoom calls with them. We talk, we laugh, they're all over the country, but we're still a cohesive team. And we have dedicated underwriters just for our branch, and they are like friends to us. We can pick up the phone and call them and laugh with them. And that, if anybody knows the operational side, is an amazing thing. Like to have an open communication line with your underwriters is clutch. Yeah.
It's almost unheard of too. I mean, it seems like with the underwriters, I mean, I work with a lot of different companies, and one of the things that just through networking events and just people that we talk to. And one of the things they always tell us is, oh yeah, our underwriters, we can never get them out. I mean, half of the time we don't even, we barely know them. So it's good that you guys have that interaction. I mean, I believe that would help streamline the process. And it also tells you as a processor, really what's going to be acceptable and what's not, what's historically something that is easier to get across than not. And knowing that helps you guys with the streamlining of that process, which goes back to what Brad was saying, that how you guys close the deal so quickly. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry if you hear a little puppy noise in the background. Our doggies are getting a little excited here. We have two little French bulldog mixed with toy fox terriers, and they're wanting to know who the heck we're talking to on this computer screen. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, listen, guys, I can't thank you enough for jumping on. This was very, very, very insightful. I'm sure everyone that's watching is going to get a lot of value from it. So, guys, again, anything that you wanted to add before we go?
No, just thank you so much. Very, very much appreciate this. And, I appreciate you guys reaching out and having us on here.
Yeah. And for everybody too, that's watching, if you want to get a hold of Brad, what is the best way to find you on Facebook, Instagram?
You can find me on Facebook. Honestly, the probably the easiest way, you can text me. My phone number is 440-813-5031. It's my cell phone. It's the only phone I have. You can call me, text me. You can also email me. It's bradley.lane@myccmortgage.com. Phone number is probably a little bit easier to catch than that long email. But yeah, you can always reach out. I'm also on Facebook. I'm very accessible with my personal page. I share a lot of different crazy content all day. It seems like news stories, mortgage stories, funny memes, doesn't matter. So you'll see me on there if you look me up.
Love it. So 440-813-5031.
Yep, 5031.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, again, thank you. And for everyone watching, it will be officially our 7-year anniversary next week. Thank you guys again, and we'll see everyone on the next episode. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.